Okay, good evening. Before we get started, I'd like to welcome Octavia Sargent from St. James United Methodist Church in Alpharetta to lead us in an invocation.
Happy holidays, everybody, and Merry Christmas. That's what we celebrate. It is certainly the best, I feel, time of year to take a look at all the things that we've done over the years. I'm an old soul, so y'all bear with me. I'd like to share. No, I'm short too. Hi, Miss Karen, Beth, Karen, Matt, Bill, Rick, Mr. Hewitt, Bert again, Joe, and Stacy, Stephen, Ken, Sudi. I love you. I know most of you. Thank you for your dedication, time, and all the things that you do for the city of Milton. It's really appreciated. Just five things that I'd like to share before we get started. It's life lessons that I've learned this year. When you fall 7 times, you stand up 8. When life gets too hard to stand, it's time to kneel. With God, all things are possible. There's a purpose in your pain, and the most valuable possession you own is an open heart. Faith in God includes faith in His time. If we can all bow our heads, clear minds, and clear hearts. Lord, I come to you with thanksgiving. I thank you for all the things you've done and all the things you're getting ready to do. Unite this city. May your glory reign across every home and business. Let our citizens be your shining light. Bring your supernatural joy right in the midst of all hardships, heartbreak, families of those who have lost loved ones, those who are sick and shut in. Let your vision and your plan for Milton come forth in all the fullness. I just want to invite everybody. Like I said, I'm old school. And most of the things that I wanted to say tonight is simply in the Lord's Prayer. If you know it, please say it with me. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Octavia. This time I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Milton City Council for Monday, December 18th, 2017 to order. Will the city clerk please call the roll and make general announcements?
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. I'll be happy to call roll for the December 18th, 2017 regular meeting. I would like to remind those in attendance to please silence all cell phones at this time. Those attending the meeting who would like to provide public comment either during the public hearing or during the call for public comment, you are required to complete a public comment card prior to speaking on the item. There is no public comment for consent agenda items or items under first presentation. Those called to speak will be taken in the order that the speaker cards are received by the city clerk prior to the beginning of tonight's meeting. All speakers will identify themselves by name, address, and organization if applicable. The City Council may allow public comment on either an agenda item or general public comment from a representative of such an organized group or association, provided that the individual has filed a notarized affidavit that they have the authority to speak on behalf of that organization on a form provided by the city clerk prior to the agenda item being called. Demonstration of any sort within this chamber is prohibited, so please refrain from any applause, cheering, booing, outbursts, or dialogue with any person speaking. As I call roll this evening, please confirm your attendance. Mayor Pro Tem Rick Morick.
Here.
Councilmember Karen Thurman.
Here.
Councilmember Matt Kuntz.
Here.
Councilmember Bill Lusk.
Here.
Councilmember Bert Hewitt.
Here.
Councilmember Joe Longoria.
Here.
For the record, Mayor Joe Lockwood is absent. We are honored this evening to have the Sons of the American Revolution lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Would everyone please rise?
Ready? Halt. To the right. Steady. Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Two. To the left face. To the front line. Ready? Halt. Left face. Dismiss.
We have a couple of elected officials that are joining us this evening. I'd like to introduce Jan Jones, our state representative and Speaker Pro Tem. Jan, if you could stand. Also joining us tonight is Bob Ellis, the Vice Chair of the Fulton County Board of Commissioners. Bob. And I'd like to also say thank you to the Piedmont chapter of the Sons of the American Revolution for being with us this evening. They were with us the first council meeting that we had, and they're here at our last meeting of this year, and we thank you for coming out. Will the city clerk please sound the next item?
Our next item is approval of the meeting agenda, agenda item number 17313.
And staff recommends the following change during the approval of meeting agenda. We'd like to add the ratification of council action at special called meeting held December 14th, 2017, and place that under unfinished business.
Mayor Pro Tem will make a motion to approve the agenda with the modifications that you just said.
Got a second?
Second.
Okay. We have a motion by Councilman Kuntz and a second by Councilman Longoria. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, thank you. It carries. Okay, do we have any public comment?
We do not, sir.
Okay. Moving on to the consent agenda, will the city clerk please sound the items?
First item is approval of the December 4th, 2017 regular city council meeting minutes, agenda item number 17314. Next is approval of a professional probation services agreement between Chief Judge Brian Hansford in his official capacity as the Chief Judge of the Milton Municipal Court and Integrity Supervision Services, LLC, as a private probation provider for the City of Milton as a governing authority. Agenda item number 17315. Approval of the second extension of the intergovernmental agreement for the provision of animal control services between Fulton County, Georgia, and Milton, Georgia. Agenda item number 17316. Our fourth item is approval of a GIS data license agreement with Tom North America, Inc. for geographic information systems data. Agenda item number 17317. Next is approval of a change order number 1 to a professional services agreement for Freemanville at Providence Design. Agenda item number 17318. Our sixth item is approval of a change order number 1 to the professional services agreement for Northeast Crabapple Connector Road Design. Agenda item number 17319. Our seventh and final consent agenda item this evening is approval of the following subdivision plats. 16410 Wax Myrtle Road, Land Lot 237, Wax Myrtle Road, Combo Plat, 1 lot. 1.462 total acres, .68 lots per acre. Gates at the Manor, Land Lot 328, Hopewell Road, minor plat, 2 lots, 2.506 total acres, .79 lots per acre. Agenda item number 17320.
Mayor Morick, I'll move to approve the consent agenda as prepared by staff.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Lusk and a second by Councilman Kuntz. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it's unanimous. Okay, moving on to reports and presentations. Will the city clerk please sound the first item?
First item is a proclamation recognizing Milton High School co-ed competition cheer state champions. This is being presented by Mayor Pro Tem Rick Morick.
Okay, we're excited to recognize the Milton High School co-ed competition cheer team. They won the Georgia High School Association State Championship, which was recently held in Columbus, Georgia. This is the first state championship win for the Milton High School cheerleading program, and we're honored to have them with us tonight. After I finish reading the proclamation, we'd like to have the coaches and the athletes from the team come to the front of the room, and we'll receive the proclamation and then have a picture with the council. Whereas the Georgia High School Association State Championship Finals for the co-ed division were held on November 10th, 2017 in Columbus, Georgia, and whereas the Milton High School competition cheer team has competed in the co-ed division for the last 4 years, and whereas during that time, the team has finished in the top 10 twice and placed third in 2016. And whereas this is the first state championship win for the Milton High School cheerleading program, and whereas the team has been coached by Melissa Marsh for 4 years and Alex Marsh for 2 years, and whereas the team consists of 18 students, 10 of whom are seniors who started with Coach Melissa Marsh, and whereas the students on the squad are Avery Birchfield, Gracie Bogus, Gianna Condelmo, Cameron Centracchio, Zach Colazzo, Christina Drawn, Brad Eden, Sydney Forrest, Haley Garrett, Giovanni Grant, Raven Hammett, Ben Hutkoff, Erica Korowitz, Libby Lauser, Jordan Leet, Kara Meaton, Grayson Shank, and Lane Yancey. Now, therefore, we, the Mayor and City Council of the City of Milton, hereby recognize the hard work and dedication and perseverance of the Milton High School co-ed cheerleading team and their coaches, and congratulate them on their first place state championship given under our hand in the seal of the City of Milton, Georgia, on this 18th day of December 2017. Could we have the athletes and the coaches come forward, please,
Sorry.
Here by Bert, or on this side. Let's all swap this way. If you'll come closer out this way, that'll be good. Young man right here. I'm sorry. If you'll step back to the wall, back all the way back. Everybody, take a step back. There you go, Matt. That's perfect. Everybody, take one step this way for me. One more. Okay, stop right there. Perfect. Okay. Councilman Thurman, if you would step back just a little bit and then shift, both of you will shift this way. I'm going to get you in between the, perfect. Councilman Moss, come this way just a hair. Perfect. Perfect right there. Okay. No, you're fine. You're fine. You don't have to kneel. If you will, come to the end right here on the end. Okay. Step over and get you to stand. If you're in front of someone, stand between their shoulders. So that's perfect. Right this way just a little bit. Perfect. Okay. Young lady, just half a step this way. That's all. What? A little bit more. This way. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Don't do it. There you go. Perfect. Okay. We're all looking right here. These are just some test shots. You will take a half step back. Perfect. Right there. Everybody get ready. We're going right here. Going 1, 2, 3. Looking here. Smile. And why are you doing this to me? This is the second time that it's done this to me. Hold on. Here we go. We're going 1, 2, 3. Smile. And again. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Let's check eyes. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, congratulations again to the team. Will the city clerk sound the next presentation, please?
Next item is a proclamation recognizing Cambridge High School and Milton High School cross-country teams. This is being presented by Councilmember Karen Thurman.
Thank you. I am honored and excited to recognize our Cambridge and Milton boys and girls cross-country teams. All of these teams have exceeded their past performances, and we are honored to have them with us here tonight. Cross-country is a sport I personally participated in high school, and both my son and daughter ran cross-country at Milton High School before Cambridge was built. To me, the best thing about cross-country is that everyone gets to participate at almost every meet. Unlike most sports where only the top athletes get to participate, in cross-country, everyone gets to participate. Regardless of whether you are the first runner crossing the finish line, as many of these runners here tonight were, or the last runner, your teammates are there cheering you on. The Cambridge boys defeated defending champions Pope. They were led by Jack Fallon, who finished in 6th place overall, and Chris Anderson, who finished in 8th place. The Lady Bears ran as a pack to claim their title. Delaney Goodall, in her first season running at Cambridge, finished 7th in the individual medal, followed by Lily Elston, finishing 10th, Troyce Grant, and Chloe Phelps, who finished 11th and 12th. Great job, guys. Whereas the Cambridge girls and boys cross-country teams both won their first ever state championships in Class 6A, and whereas the Milton boys cross-country team won their first ever state championship, and the Milton girls cross-country team matched their best ever performance, finishing in the 3rd place in Class 7A, whereas the Milton girls and boys cross-country teams are the only program in Georgia's largest classification to have both teams finish in the top 4 in the state championships for 4 consecutive years, and whereas the Cambridge boys and girls cross-country teams have finished in the top 4 in the state championship for the 2nd consecutive year, and whereas the Cambridge girls and boys cross-country teams each earned their first individual region championships, and whereas the Milton boys and girls cross-country teams earned the title of Best Overall Program among Fulton County schools for the 11th time in the last 14 years, and whereas these young people are champions not only on the field but also in the classroom, in the community and in life. We are proud of the Milton and Cambridge cross-country teams and their contributions to our community. Now, therefore, we, the Mayor and City Council of the City of Milton, hereby dictate and proclaim Monday, December 18th as Cambridge and Milton Cross Country Appreciation Day in the City of Milton, Georgia, given under our hand and seal of the City of Milton, Georgia on this 18th day of December 2017. If we could have all of the coaches and athletes from all the teams to please come forward, and we'll see if we can get everyone in one picture.
Back a little bit. What do you think, Shannon? This could be a record. If we were in Albany, I'd be worried about a fight behind him right now. I love it. I love living here.
You are all the way back to the wooden wall behind you. Okay? If you are on a row in front of someone, I want you to make sure that you are in between their shoulder blades, the two shoulder blades, so I can see faces. Okay? Cambridge, I'm going to get you to shift this way to the edge right here. Come this way. Come. There we go. Okay? Over here, Milton, step back and tighten up right here on the edge. Okay. Young man, I'm picking on you. If you'll swap with this young woman in front of you. Right here? Right here. Yes, will you all swap together right there? Nope, right there. You're perfect. Perfect. Okay. Young lady, on the end, if you will, take a step out. Perfect. Now, young man, if you'll step this way. Okay. Everybody stay where you are. This here. Blue sweatshirt, take a step up a little bit more. Thank you. Now, you take a step this way, behind him. Perfect. Stay right there. Okay, don't move. Council, if you will tighten up just a little bit behind together for me. Come over. Here we go. Right, we're all looking right here. Gonna give me just a minute. Okay, we're all looking right here. Okay, we're going here. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. One more, hold on. Okay, so
I know, it's going to take a picture of the screen.
take a screenshot?
Half a set this way. Perfect. Now, half a set this way. Half a set this way. Yes, you, sorry. No, this way. Right here. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. We're going here. 1, 2, 3. Smile. One more. Don't move. We're good. Thank you.
They don't get any kind of government credit for this.
Well, they get an education. No problem.
One school goes out one door, the other school.
Yeah, they're coming tonight for vacation. In the same village.
Oh, man.
That's great.
That's true. The black gone out there. I'm sure that part.
Will the city clerk please sound the final presentation item?
This item is recognition of Councilmember Bill Lusk and Councilmember Karen Thurman, presented by Mayor Pro Tem Rick Morick.
Okay, it's my pleasure tonight to have a proclamation recognizing the contributions of both Bill Lusk and Karen Thurman. And what I'm going to do is read the two proclamations. Then I'd ask that the two council persons come down with me, as well as the council, and then we'll have another presentation down there. Okay, proclamation recognizing Bill Lusk for his service to the city of Milton. Whereas Bill Lusk has had a long history of tirelessly serving the city of Milton and as its resident since the city's inception in 2006, and whereas he was elected as council member to represent District 3 in 2006 and has served in that capacity continuously till this day. Whereas prior to incorporation, Bill became involved in local issues through his appointment to the Northwest Design Review Board and served as a member of the City of Milton Organizing Committee. Whereas Bill is a Vietnam veteran, having served with the U.S. Navy, Seabees, as a council member, organized the Milton Memorial Day ceremony. Whereas in addition to his work as a city council member, Bill created the Fallen Veterans Marker display seen twice a year. And whereas he builds each marker and oversees their installation. Whereas Bill is also an active member of the Friends of the Milton Library and helped design and build the book barn located just outside the main library. Whereas Bill has selflessly given countless hours of his personal time to work for and with the citizens of Milton to make this a city that its residents are proud to call home. Now, therefore, we, the mayor and the city council of the city of Milton, hereby recognize and with heartfelt gratitude thank Bill Lusk for his dedicated service to the city and to its citizens, given under our hand and seal of the city of Milton, Georgia, on this 18th day of December 2017. It's also my pleasure to recognize Councilperson Karen Thurman. This is a proclamation recognizing Karen Thurman for her service to the City of Milton. Whereas Karen Thurman has a long history of tirelessly serving the City of Milton and its residents since the city's inception in 2006. And whereas she was elected as council member to represent District 1 in 2006 and has served in that capacity continuously to this day. Whereas prior to incorporation, Karen served on the City of Milton Organizing Committee as chair of the Budget and Finance Committee. And whereas Karen began her public service career as a member of the Fulton County Board of Zoning Appeals from 1995 until 2006, acting as the board's chair and co-chair during that time, and was also the co-chair of the Northwest Fulton Overlay Committee from 1998 until 1999. Whereas in addition to her duties as city council member, Karen has served the Milton community through volunteer work as a member of the Booster Club boards for the Milton High School softball, cross country, track and field. She was a member of the Fulton County Rural Preservation Plan Committee and an officer on the Friends of the Milton Library team. Whereas Karen has selflessly given countless hours of her personal time to work for and with the city and its residents, and we are proud to call this home. Now therefore, we, the mayor and the city council of Milton, hereby recognize and with heartfelt gratitude thank Karen Thurman for her dedicated service to the city and to its citizens, given under our hand in the seal of the City of Milton, Georgia, on this 18th day of December 2017. We'll go down front and let's have council come too. State Representative Jones and Vice Chair Waddles, and then also any family members of Karen. We've got spouse Jamie, if you could come up, Martin, and Mr. and Mrs. Collins will be joining us also. Okay, we also have a couple of plaques in commemoration for their service. Oh, there's one for you, and there's one for you. We're close to Christmas. We have to have gifts. And it's also our pleasure to give you both a key to the city of
There we go.
We've got our state representative and also our vice chair from Fulton County Commission. Would either of you like to say anything? Have some comments?
Well, I can't let this moment go without saying something. I am so appreciative, Karen and Bill, to your contributions well before the city, while we've been, been forming this city along with the residents here, and the contributions you've made. I mean, whether it's your, going back to Bill's military service, his efforts on behalf of the community before the city. He was also on the formation committee back when we started thinking, how can we give this area independence and self-control? And I can look around the city and see so many reflections of his handiwork that will last well beyond any of us being here. And same with Karen. I met Karen city, and she's been such a true public servant at the schools, in the community, when she was trying to make it better when it was governed locally by Fulton County, and then also on the formation committee to create the city. And then throughout this 11 years of this grand experiment of creating a city out of nothing. And I just so appreciate both of your service and things that you will do in the future.
I'll echo Jan's comments, but also I want to say thanks to Mark and Jane for allowing these two to kind of give of their time. And what, God knows, the countless number of community meetings and zoning discussions that I can't imagine that, if you replay that you have sat through. But most importantly, you entered into this probably with a desire to be public servants, not politicians, and you kept true to that throughout your tenure as public servants. And, you can leave and you can walk away, and there's so many tangible signs of your handiwork and intangible signs, the things that you may only remember that you had a hand in. But you can walk away and say, job, I did my job well. And we thank you for that, for being faithful, dedicated service to our community, and leaving this place better than we found it. Thank you very much.
If I would get the front row just to scoot this way a little bit for me. A little bit that way. Stay right there. That's good. Jan, if you will come more towards the center for me, Representative Jones. There we go. Scoot over this way. Y'all will scoot this way just a half. Okay. Councilman Lusk, if you will take just a half a step back for me. You're perfect. That's great. All right, we're looking right here. We're going 1, 2, 3, smile. We're going one more. 1, 2, 3. Hold on. One more for him, please. All right, we're going 1, 2, 3, smile. Got it, thank you.
We're going to take about a 10-minute break, and if you'd invite all of you to join us and the council and Bill and Karen with some cake. Thanks.
I said, you don't tell. Oh, yes. Oh, okay. We'll ask the photographer, definitely.
In your hand.
Merry Christmas. Thank you for all you do.
You didn't see any incriminating Wow. Thank you all for being here. Started out with many of you 12 years ago when we were talking about incorporation. And Jan Jones was involved, and we tried one shot at merging with Alpharetta, and that didn't work. So Jan came up with House Bill 1470. And it was signed in by the governor back in May of 2006. And it came in front of the city of Milton as a referendum on the 18th of July of that year. And with the great groundswell of support out here, it was passed by 88% of those who voted for that referendum. And we became a city. And then there was a bunch of us who decided they wanted to serve publicly. And I was one of them. Clint Johnson, who just walked in here, he was another. Gordon Hunter. Who else did I miss here? I don't think anybody. And so we started running, and we had our election in November of that year, obviously, and by the 8th of December, we were all seated. But first, I want to say that this has been an opportunity of a lifetime. First of all, just to even serve is an honor and a privilege. But to serve as one of the first council members in a new city is just overwhelming. And to see where we have come in 11 years, we started from scratch. And while we were going through that process in 2006, the Charter Commission was formed. And my good friend and neighbor, Ron Wallace, became the chairman of that commission. And as we got into the process of creating a city, he went out and bought, I don't know how many police cars, and started buying fire engines on zero credit at all. And set up City Hall over on Deerfield, and started working with CH2M Hill to create staff for the city. But going back to his purchase of all these police cars, I'm sure it was on his own personal credit and his own character and reputation that helped us along. And I commend you, Ron, for being there and doing what you did. Well, this whole exercise of creating a city reflects on my own personal and business experience in building my own business 32 years ago, and bringing together all of the resources required to not only start a business, but to keep it sustainable. Our most important asset, obviously, are our personnel. And I give CH2M Hill credit in bringing several of staff on board. Many of them are still with us. And I've come to know personally and respect all of the staff that we have on board. And to start with our police department and our fire department that were activated and deployed within 4 months of when we created this city is a feat beyond compare. And now they stand on their own as some of the two finest public defense organizations, not only in the state, but in the Southeast. So I want to commend Rich Austin and Bob Edgar for putting together and continuing what others before them have started. But I want to go down through and just mention others on staff that have meant a lot in my life and whom I've worked with over the course of the 11 years. Kathy Field in her department, Robin. There she is. And, if there's anybody that knows the code inside and out, Robin and Kathy do. And I appreciate all their support in help making decisions on all of the different issues that have come in front of us. And of course, Bob Buscemi in that same department, our city architect. And you're standing here in the midst of one of the creations that he had a very strong hand in developing. And he continues to do that on the other projects that he's been involved in throughout the city. Jim Craig, the big guy who's going to take on some bigger responsibilities coming soon with our parks. And Jim, I wish you all the luck in the world. Stacy Inglis, and our finance director and assistant city manager for keeping us out of trouble. Not only that, but being recognized as having one of the greatest finance departments in the city, and has achieved a clean audit record on her watch every year that she's done it. Great job for you and all of your staff, and Honor and Wendy and all of the others. And I don't mean to neglect them. It's a matter of time. And next is Carter Lucas. Carter and I are the only ones that speak the same language. We talk about catch basins and coast signs and curbs and gutters and right-of-way and everything else. And he's done a remarkable job in helping us improve the mess, actually, that Fulton County left us with. I don't mean to really disparage too much, Bob, but we had a lot of roads up here and intersections that were direly needing not only maintenance but reconstruction. And I think we're working a lot better with Fulton County now that Bob is on board, and commend you on what you do not only for Northwest Fulton and Milton, but for all of Fulton County. We're glad to have you up here. David Frizzell, back there, eating popcorn and watching the show from his own con. David keeps us all straight here as far as the IT department, along with others in his group. Where is Sudi? Hiding. Oh, yeah. Okay, Sudi, talk about keeping us all straight, running or keeping these agendas for our meetings in order, keeping us squared away as far as dealing with our reports to the State Ethics Commission and all of the other things that people just don't see, but we know what you're doing, and thank you for doing that. Shannon, for promoting this city the way it has been since you've been on board. Christine Doss and Dawn Surf, who's the sweet voice on the phone when you call in. Courtney. Ken Gerard's not here tonight, but want to mention something that Ken has done in the past, and it's great to have good legal counsel. And about 4 years ago, there was an issue brought, or an application brought in front of the city. It was approval of a 256-unit apartment complex next to City Hall on Deerfield. And I was away when the vote was taken. When I came back, I cast the deciding vote to deny that application. And Ken said, well, we're going to get sued. I said, well, let's go for it. I don't think we need that here. So we not only got sued once, we got sued twice. But we prevailed, and we prohibited that high-density development from going in down there in Deerfield. So I commend Ken for his wise counsel in what he's been to the city. Lastly, I want to mention Steve Krokoff. And Steve was in the perfect position a couple years ago when our former city manager left. And I guess God was looking over us. And I'm proud to see Steve take the helm and deal with the very diverse personnel and on staff, and I say that kindly, and also dealing with the unruly city council that we've had here in the city. Thank you, Steve. This is my last night here. I'm leaving this seat, but I'm not going away. I started several things while I was here, not only before the city was created, but while I've sat in that seat for the last 11 years. And there's a couple exciting things that are coming up after the first of the year, so stay tuned. We're going to make this city even greater than what it has been. And thank you all, my friends and supporters and citizens, residents of Milton. Great place. Let's make it greater.
And I want to start off by just saying ditto to everything he just said. Make my speech much, much shorter. So prior to incorporation, as the Budget Committee, my task was very simple. I was simply to analyze the financial information provided by the consultants, and I needed to be able to assure the residents of the city that we would be able to provide at least the same level of service as they were currently receiving at that time with Fulton County. Speaker Pro Tem Jones, I believe we have far exceeded those expectations. So it was not a task I took lightly because I knew I would have to answer to everyone if we were not successful, but I believe that we have been extremely successful, and I thank everyone for that. One very important thing for the organizing committee was that we were not a government that was your typical stereotype government. We wanted a government that operated more like a business, and one that was very receptive to our residents and businesses. Once again, I believe that we have far exceeded our original expectations. As you're aware, our government is a strong city manager structure. Under this type of government, the mayor and city council are responsible for setting policy. The staff handle everything else. And they're the ones that are responsible for all the day-to-day operations, and they're the ones that are responsible for carrying out the policy that we have set. We have a tremendous staff, and much of the recognition for the success of our city over the past 11 years is due to their hard work. Personally, I want to thank all the staff for always being willing to listen to my crazy ideas, regardless of how crazy they may have seemed. I hope that some of my historical knowledge of the community, where we came from and where we got to where we are today, has proven valuable. Going forward, if you ever need the long-term historic perspective on an issue or simply want to hear my latest crazy idea, you know where to find me. Thank you.
Okay, they're going to start the cake line.
work of art, but that's okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm kidding, yeah. I'm ready now. Oh, yes, I didn't answer you, did I?
Because she's going to bring over the flags, and I want to talk to her about some.
Friday, it's Friday?
Oh, yeah, you're not going to be here?
I'll be.
All right, well, she's.
What time though?
Noon time.
Lunchtime?
Yeah, it's just, you don't have to go to lunch, you can just be here at least to look at the flags, and that's what we talk about. Some things, public safety that
I would like to be involved.
Yeah.
Since I wasn't here last time.
Right, so, it's up to you. I figured we'll go with
Fireplace repairman, and my husband is supposed to be home to meet him. But if he says no, I can't, because I have a 10-story a 10-story Avalon building. I will have to, or maybe the front face.
I'm not, but, yeah, so Dennis is really good.
And then everybody's mysterious. Everybody over here.
Yeah, but he's gonna pick out everything. I just have one question about it, so it's moving.
Yours gonna be, yeah, yours gonna be huge.
We still have the other, because the other fireplace is right. The regular fireplace. Somebody have that.
I know, but he wanted both. He has this thing about, even his house, he has wood motor in his house.
Does he want to be a full-time fire starter? And clean her up?
Yeah, then one day I'll
And then it just.
Karen, I don't know if you want, but I put the proclamation.
Okay, thank you.
The writing the words in there too, so.
Can I scratch through?
You can do whatever you want.
I marked through the ones Sudie gave me and wrote all over it, so. I wrote all over the ones Sudie gave me.
Yeah, I did mine too, because I had to get the names right, figure out how to say this.
That's the nice thing about cross country is most of them I can pronounce. Because I don't need this anymore.
Don't be unlocking that city too often. You're sneaking in and stuff. Yeah, once you hit that on the side, just carry your plaque up. Sudie, are you ready? Okay. Thank you all for coming, and congratulations, Bill and Karen. Appreciate all your service. Continuing with our council meeting, will the city clerk please sound the first presentation item?
Consideration of amendments to Chapter 20, Soil Erosion, Sedimentation, and Pollution Control, Article 6, Soil Erosion within the City of Milton Code of Ordinances, Agenda Item Number 17321.
Is there a motion and a second?
I'll make a motion to approve the reading of the first presentation.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, passes unanimously. Okay, moving on to our public hearing, will the city clerk please sound the next item?
Next item is an alcohol beverage license application, consideration of the issuance of an alcohol beverage license to Tamburini Hotels Group, LLC, doing business as Paradise Biryani Point, 5310 Windward Parkway, Suite D, Milton, Georgia, 3004, agenda item number 17322, Ms. Bernadette Harville.
Good evening. This alcohol beverage license application is in front of you due to a change in ownership. The applicant has complied with all requirements, and staff recommends approval.
Okay, do we have any public comment at all?
We do not, sir.
Okay, any discussion by council? Okay, hearing none, do we have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second the motion.
Okay, motion by Councilman Thurman, second by Councilman Lusk. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, passes unanimously.
Thank you.
I meant to mention Bernadette when I was speaking too, for all you do, Bernadette.
And I'll ditto that too.
Keep all those licenses moving.
That's right.
I'll keep the alcohol beverage tax money coming in.
Okay, moving on to our zoning agenda, will the city clerk please read the zoning rules and sound the first zoning item?
I will waive the zoning rules since we have no public comment. And the first item is consideration of RZ 1711, text amendment to Article 20, Deerfield Form-Based Code, Table 10, specific function and use regarding the T6 transect zone, agenda item number 17323. First presentation was heard at the City Council meeting on December 4th. Ms. Kathy Field.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem and members of the City Council. Staff respectfully requests that this item be deferred to the January 8th meeting. The reason for that is that we inadvertently missed the advertising requirement as required by the Georgia Zoning Procedures Act. We have taken action to correct that. So we would like to, therefore, hear this on the 8th. This is not a time-sensitive issue, and I will also tell you that there is a moratorium in place, but the moratorium remains in place until January 9th, which is the day after the meeting on the 8th, so we should be fine. So with that, I would request the deferral.
Okay, any questions of staff? Sudie, did you say we do not have any public comment?
Yes, sir, we do not.
Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem will make a motion that we defer agenda item number 17-323 to the January 8th, 2018 City Council meeting.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Kuntz and a second by Councilman Thurman to defer the item to January 8th meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, passes unanimously. Okay. Okay, moving on to unfinished business. Will the city clerk please sound that item?
This item was added under the approval of the agenda. It is ratification of council action at special called meeting held December 14, 2017. Mr. Jeff Strickland.
Hi, good evening. The issues on the agenda today for ratification of the vote that was taken at the special called meeting. Mr. Longoria, who appeared at that meeting and voted, had previously recused on the issue. And having voted at this last meeting, despite having recused himself at the prior occasion, we want just ratification from the council today, approving the action that took place at the special called meeting.
Okay, so this doesn't change anything with the contract. All we're doing is basically voting on that where we actually extended the contract, our due diligence time frame.
You're ratifying the action, yes.
Got it.
That's
okay.
correct.
Any questions from council?
Just for future reference,
Sure.
because I was of the opinion, since we weren't voting on approving the actual contract, we were just voting on what was already now the business of the city. I thought that it was appropriate for me to vote. So what is the issue there? For anything that comes up related to this contract in the future, can I not vote?
Well, I think that's a little broad, but with respect to the contract, you didn't vote you recused yourself from voting to approve the contract.
Right.
And the issue that was the sole issue at the special call meeting was amending that contract. And so the nexus there is so specific to the contract itself that having recused yourself from the original contract means you should have recused yourself from the amendment to the contract. But that doesn't mean that other discussion that comes up with respect to the broader subject matter is necessarily off the table.
Okay.
So going forward, assuming that transaction, we do end up purchasing it, Councilman Longoria can be involved when we talk about developing and whatever we're going to do with that use from that point on. Okay?
All right.
Any other questions? Okay. Do we have a motion and a second?
I'll make a motion that we approve the ratification of a special call meeting agenda item of approving the contract extension.
Second the motion.
Okay. We have a motion by Councilman Thurman and a second by Councilman Lusk. All in the favor? Aye. Okay. It passes unanimously.
I did not vote.
Excuse me. Did you recuse yourself?
Well, no, I'm just, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I did.
You did recuse yourself. I'm sorry. I did not hear that. Okay.
That's okay.
My apologies. Okay. Do we have any, moving on to reports, are there any council reports? I guess there's no council reports. Okay.
I would say this. I know we got less than a week to go. We got the trail ride coming up.
Yeah.
On the next, at the end of it, I walked that today with Tamara just to kind of see what options we have on different things. And I guess there's a meeting going to be on that on Wednesday. I think that's a very important meeting. And all of our appointees for the equestrian committee, I think, should be heavily involved in that because there's some interest in it. It's a good deal, but we just want to make sure we do it right. So just want to let you know we got to get that going.
I don't know if it's appropriate to ask, have we done the communication already to the Wood Road?
We have.
Okay, thanks.
And I met a Wood Road resident while I was out there as well and talked to him. And, they're just, the question mainly was, how big do we think it's going to be? Truthfully, we don't really know, from that end. But they do want to know that we're at least cognizant of their requests. And I think that was a good conversation.
Did speak with the hunters who were here, Wood Road residents, and they're fully behind it too and encouraging their neighbors to come out and participate in it. So.
Anyone else? Okay, moving on to staff reports, beginning with communications.
Mayor Pro Tem, if I could, I'd like to recommend that we defer staff reports tonight other than mine, just if that's okay.
Council?
I'm fine with that.
I'm good with that.
And just on behalf of staff, we'd like to give our heartfelt thank you to both Councilmember Lusk and Councilmember Thurman for their work over the many, many years. I actually have college students' paper to forward to you, and Shannon just sent it to us to give you an idea of what kind of impact that you have all had on people's lives over the last 10 years. This is a young woman, probably about 21 years old. So some of you have been working in this area that long to improve what this city can be. And just to see it reflect in her words in her final project, which she got 100 on, by the way, it'll show you what kind of impact you've truly had. And I'll get that over to you quickly. But on behalf of staff, we thank you for the manner in which you've worked with them prior to me getting here and with me since I've been here. So thank you very much for all you've done to create a great place for everybody to raise their families.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate
Thank you.
Okay, with that, I think we all agreed we can defer those. That concludes the regular meeting. Is there a motion that we adjourn?
Mayor Pro Tem, I'll move to adjourn the final regular meeting of 2017.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn by Councilman Lusk and a second by Councilman Thurman. All in favor? Aye. That concludes the meeting.